Nothing went wrong. That's why it worked. Someone said, "Let's loop them in." And suddenly, you were no longer deciding. You were performing. Your nervous system adjusted, your tone softened, and control exited the room without resistance. This isn't a collaboration. It's displacement. You're not losing the argument. You're losing jurisdiction. Here's where it gets dangerous. Nothing feels hostile. Nothing sounds wrong. But the structure of the interaction has already changed, and you're still responding as if it hasn't. We turn philosophy into self-mastery, not inspiration. And this is the test that exposes who actually governs themselves. Because when a third person enters, philosophy stops being abstract and becomes operational. You don't notice the moment it happens. That's the danger. Someone says a name. The room tilts.
And suddenly, the conversation isn't for you anymore. This is the move. A third-person frame break isn't about clarity. It's about changing who the moment belongs to. Not the truth, not accuracy. Audience. And the instant the audience changes, authority migrates. They don't do it when you're strong and immovable. They do it when you soften. When you explain more than required. When you rush. When you signal, even subtly, that you want agreement more than control. A micro-behavior you barely notice. Your voice speeds up. You add a qualifier. You smile to soften impact. You glance sideways for confirmation. That's the opening. Here's the extraction sequence. Watch how fast it runs. A third person becomes the reference. Not for facts, for permission. Your body registers it before your mind does. Chest tightens. Breath shortens.
Words get longer. That's the approval tax being charged in real time. And once you start paying it, the system knows you're pliable. Respect drops first, then leverage, then access. People stop deciding with you and start deciding around you. You do not fight the third person. You do not convince the audience. You reassert jurisdiction. Here's the distinction that matters when pressure hits. Pause for a full beat and say less. Do not fill the silence with justification. Name the structural move. Do not argue the content of the disagreement. Declare how the decision will be made. Do not let consensus form without you. When the moment arrives, you don't improvise. You deploy. This is between us. What's the metric? Who asked them to be the reference here? If they're contributing, limit it to 1 point.
Then we decide. You think naming the move escalates tension. It doesn't. It collapses the theater. You think silence makes you weak. It exposes who needs noise to survive. Marcus Aurelius didn't control Rome by speaking louder. He controlled it by deciding what didn't deserve a response. That's not restraint. That's jurisdiction. Minimal movement. Maximum authority. That's the spine you're building here.
There is one interrupt you must train until it's automatic. Every time a third person is mentioned, stop speaking for 3 heartbeats. Not to be dramatic, to force the system to reveal who is actually deciding. Strip this down to first principles. Jurisdiction first, metric second, limit the third. Here's why a third person gets pulled in, motives people rarely admit, even to themselves. First, witness creation. They want someone to see you yield, soften, or explain. Second, authority laundering. They borrow legitimacy from someone perceived as neutral. Third, identity mirroring. They want the group to adopt the version of reality where they look reasonable and you look excessive. Fourth, responsibility avoidance. If a third party agrees, no one has to own the decision. There's a trade-off here, and it isn't negotiable.
When you reclaim the frame, you lose comfort. You lose being liked in the moment. You lose the role of emotional caretaker. What you gain is compounding authority. Now slow down and feel the mechanism deeper. The instant a third person enters, the interaction shifts from information to alignment. Alignment spreads faster than logic. Humans read posture, tone, pacing before content. Your nervous system senses the alignment shift and flags threat. To neutralize the threat, you explain. That explanation is the reaction receipt. Once issued, extraction accelerates. Picture this in a workplace setting. 4 minutes, a verdict quietly forming. You present a plan. Clear, short, structured. A colleague pushes back. Before you finish responding, they say, "Let's bring Alex in." Pause here. Nothing has changed yet. No data.
No logic, only the audience. That's the pivot point most people miss. Alex arrives, calm, well-liked. Alex reframes your proposal with a softer metric. The room relaxes. You respond faster. You add context. You tell the story. Alex speaks once more. Short. The decision tilts. Nothing about your data changed. The jurisdiction did. Breakdown. Alex functioned as a validator. The group subconsciously accepted Alex as the legitimacy filter. Your longer explanation signaled uncertainty. Your nervous system paid the approval tax to reduce discomfort. You weren't defeated. You were rerouted. This is where structure decides the outcome. Convert opinions into tests. Do not argue intent or intelligence. Time box third-party input. Do not let them narrate. End with a binary next step. Do not leave the decision open. You think good ideas win. Structure wins. Now the first original framework. Compact, usable under pressure. This is the tool that stops the bleed. The Sovereign Frame Protocol. Its purpose? To reclaim jurisdiction, stop extraction, and convert witnesses into neutral data. 5 steps. Timed. Anchor, 0 to 5 seconds. Breathe once. State jurisdiction. This is between us. Name, 5 to 12 seconds. Label the move, neutrally. You're bringing someone into our decision. Metric, 12 to 25 seconds. Declare how the decision will be made. We decide this by X. Contain, 25 to 50 seconds. Limit third-party input. 1 point only, then we decide. Close, 50 to 90 seconds. Call the next action. State the metric change, then I'll respond with one proposal. If jurisdiction and metric are not declared within the first 20 seconds, normative power shifts permanently toward the third person, and you default into defense. Your access ledger shrinks. This is between us. State the metric. If there's a change, 1 point, then we decide. Power doesn't announce itself. It structures outcomes. Marcus governed an empire by refusing unnecessary reaction. You govern interactions the same way, by deciding what deserves response. A brief personal conflict note. No deep dive yet, that's part 2. When loved ones involve outsiders, the same mechanism applies. The audience changes. The frame shifts. Emotion intensifies. The protocol still holds. You think clarity is cold. It's stabilizing. You think structure kills connection. It preserves it. You think naming moves is rude. It's honest. You think explaining earns trust. It spends it. You think silence is passive. It's active restraint. You think approval keeps peace. It creates debt. You think you need consensus. You need jurisdiction. A low-stakes drill. Do not skip it. Next week, when someone says, "I'll bring X," pause for 3 beats and use the exact line once. Observe the reaction. Do not rescue the moment. Pause here. You don't need another tool. You need sequencing. All of this reduces to one rule. If you're present, no one else decides for you. Everything else is implementation detail. Pause. Name. Metric. Limit. Close. That's not dominance. That's hygiene. Now refine the internal signal that makes the third-person move work. The moment someone invokes another name, your body reacts before your mind does. Your shoulders tighten, your breath rises, your eyes flick, not toward the decision, but toward approval. That reaction is the true target. The third person is not there to add clarity. They are there to provoke a reaction. Reaction is proof of jurisdiction loss. This is why calm people dominate rooms without speaking much. They deny reaction receipts. A reaction receipt is simple. It's any moment you adjust after the frame has already shifted. Faster speech, extra explanation, defensive precision. Once issued, the other side relaxes. They're in your nervous system now.
And extraction accelerates. They escalate after the receipt. They bring more examples. They lean into the third person. They relax because the extraction is active. The trigger you must learn to spot. The urge to clarify something that was already clear. That urge is not logical. It's self-protection. Now zoom out. When you repeatedly refuse third-party framing, something changes in your environment. People stop triangulating. But here's the cost of issuing reaction receipts. Your credibility becomes conditional. Your words need endorsement. Your presence loses weight. So you replace reaction with structure. This is where most people fail. They think strength is emotional control. It's not. Strength is procedural dominance. Procedural dominance means you decide how decisions are made, not who feels convinced. You don't win by sounding right. You win by deciding the rules of engagement. Now tighten the earlier case study with a second angle. Same meeting, same plan, same moment when Alex is brought in. But this time, you do not explain. You pause. You breathe. You say one sentence. This is between us. If Alex has input, name the metric it changes. The room stalls. Alex hesitates. Because now Alex has jurisdiction only if they can alter structure, not tone. They offer a vague observation. You respond with one sentence. The decision proceeds. Notice what changed. Not confidence, not volume, not intelligence. Structure. This is why people who seem quiet often hold power. They refuse to supply material for extraction. This is where most people give themselves away. Do this. Answer only what was asked. Not that. Anticipate objections. Do this. Keep sentences short after a third person enters. Not that. Elaborate to sound thorough. Do this. Let awkwardness sit. Not that. Resolve tension prematurely. Discomfort in the room is not dangerous. It's a sorting mechanism. Now address the forbidden motives, explicitly. When a third person appears, one of these thoughts flashes through you. I don't want to look incompetent. I don't want to seem unreasonable. I don't want them to think I'm difficult. I don't want to lose connection. These motives feel noble. They are not. They are access-seeking behaviors disguised as harmony. The moment you act from them, you surrender jurisdiction voluntarily. Correction is not suppression. Correction is recognition. Say it internally, once. This urge is about approval, not accuracy. That single acknowledgement interrupts the hijack. Now integrate this with the sovereign frame protocol you already learned. The protocol does not require dominance. It requires timing. If you deploy it late, it sounds defensive. If you deploy it early, it sounds factual. That's why the first 20 seconds matter. Jurisdiction named early feels natural. Jurisdiction named late feels reactive. Power is often just being early. Another subtlety most people miss. You do not need to win the exchange
to win the frame. Sometimes the strongest outcome is neutrality. When you prevent extraction, you may not get your way, but you stop the loss. And stopping loss compounds faster than chasing wins. This is how reputations quietly recover. People remember who doesn't flinch, who doesn't perform,
Who doesn't explain themselves into smaller shapes. One more sharpened drill before part 2. Next time someone says, "Let's ask X," do not answer immediately. Instead, ask yourself one question internally. Who decides if I speak next? If the answer isn't me, pause and reclaim it. That pause is not passive, it is a jurisdiction reset. This is the last boundary before part 2. You now understand why the third person is used, what reaction they're harvesting, how jurisdiction is transferred, how to interrupt it structurally. You are no longer guessing. You held the line once. That's not the hard part. The hard part is holding it again when the stakes rise. When the third person isn't a colleague, but someone you care about. Someone with emotional weight. Someone whose opinion matters. This is where most people collapse. Now you're not just protecting jurisdiction, you're protecting identity. This is where your hijacked nervous system tries to renegotiate the frame for you. Your body tightens, your tone softens, your sentences lengthen again. That's the signal. When the third person is emotionally close, the extraction shifts from status to bond. You're no longer paying the approval tax to be respected, you're paying it to be chosen. This is where forbidden motives become dangerous. I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to look cold. I don't want to lose connection. Those thoughts feel human. They are also levers. And if you don't name them, they decide for you. I talked to someone. They agree. They're worried. Same mechanism, different weapons. Now it's not status on the line, it's bond. They don't argue facts. They imply consensus. They reference concern. They outsource judgment. You sense you're being evaluated, not heard. Moral framing replaces operational framing, and once morality enters, structure dissolves, unless you reassert it. You lose leverage, you lose self-trust, you start agreeing to things you resent later. Your sovereign mindset erodes quietly, so you convert emotion into operation. This is not cruelty, it's containment. Now deploy the second core tool, the negotiable frame reset. Purpose: convert emotional escalation into a bounded, testable decision. This is not a debate, this is stabilization. It runs in 4 exact steps. Pause. 3 slow breaths, not to calm down, but to interrupt momentum. State: we're deciding something, not trading verdicts. Metric: what result matters most to you? In 1 sentence. Agree: we'll test one change for 48 hours, then revisit. There is a clear failure condition. If you defend your character or intentions within 60 seconds, the reset has failed. Step away. Do not continue. These lines are exact. No deviation. Script 1. Let's name the result you want, not who agrees with you. Script 2. I'll try this for 48 hours. Then we reassess. Script 3. No witnesses decide for us. We test outcomes. You think emotion demands reassurance. It doesn't. It demands structure. Now apply this to a real scenario. Your partner says, "I talked to my friend, and they think you're being unfair." Your chest tightens. Your impulse is to explain, to defend, to correct the story. Don't. You pause. You say, "We're deciding something,
not collecting opinions. What result do you want? Silence. That silence is not dangerous. It's recalibration. If they answer with a result, you proceed. If they answer with a feeling, you repeat the line once. If they escalate, you end the exchange. Not angrily, decisively. This is the trade-off truth fully realized. Choosing sovereignty costs immediate comfort. It costs being the emotional sponge. It costs being needed. What you gain is trust that doesn't rot. They come to you directly or not at all. Both outcomes are wins. This is how your access ledger repairs itself. Picture this. People stop coming to you directly.
They check the temperature elsewhere first. They arrive preloaded. By the time you're in the room, the verdict is warm. That's your access ledger bleeding quietly. Not from conflict, from accommodation. Audit this weekly. Who speaks to you cleanly? Who always brings backup? Those patterns are not accidents. Now confront the silent consequence most people miss. When you allow third-party framing repeatedly, you don't just lose moments, you lose position. People stop challenging you directly, not because they respect you, but because they've learned you're easier to move indirectly. This is how influence decays without conflict. They speak to others first. They check consensus before coming to you. They preload conversations with external validation. By the time you enter, the decision is already shaped.
That is not bad luck. That is learned behavior. Your environment adapts to the path of least resistance. You think avoidance means peace. It doesn't. It means rerouting. This is why reclaiming jurisdiction feels uncomfortable at first. You're breaking a pattern they benefited from. Expect friction. When you stop accepting third-party pressure, people will test you. They'll escalate language. They'll invoke fairness. They'll say you're being rigid. That reaction is diagnostic. It means the extraction used to work. Do not explain your boundary. Explanation invites negotiation. Structure ends it. Here's the deeper mechanism. Most people don't want authority. They want cover. Third parties provide cover. When you remove that option, you force ownership back onto the speaker. Ownership feels heavy, so they resist. That resistance is not your problem. Discomfort is not damaging. It's recalibration. Now tighten your internal discipline. This is where most slip. After you hold the frame, there will be a delay, an awkward beat, a look, a sigh. Your instinct will be to rescue the moment. Don't. Silence after structure is doing work. It forces others to decide whether they will engage directly or withdraw. Both outcomes restore your position. This is the trade-off few are willing to make. You trade being universally approachable for being unmistakably clear. Clear people attract fewer conversations, but better ones. Now apply this to authority dynamics beyond conversation. In groups, teams, families, social circles. Third-person framing becomes policy if unchallenged. People learn who needs consensus, who needs reassurance, who needs witnesses, and they exploit it without malice. Correction requires consistency, not intensity. One strong stand won't fix it. 3 calm repetitions will. This is why part 2 matters. You are no longer learning what to say. You are retraining expectations. Reputation isn't built in dramatic moments. It's built in boring consistency. Now add this internal rule. Memorize it. If a decision affects you and you are present, no one else speaks for you. You don't announce this rule. You enforce it structurally. Pause, name, metric, limit,
close. That sequence is your spine. Now sharpen your awareness around timing.
Early boundary setting feels natural. Late boundary setting feels defensive. So you must act before irritation shows. The first mention of a third person is your window. Miss it, and you'll feel the urge to justify. Catch it, and the room stabilizes. Speed here is not aggression, it's hygiene. Now, one more applied example, a social setting. A friend says, "Everyone thinks you're overreacting." Old response, explain. New response, contain. You say, "Who specifically is deciding this?" They hesitate. You follow with, "If there's a decision, let's name it. If not, we move on." That sentence does three things. It denies the anonymous audience. It forces specificity. It closes the loop. No argument required. This is how you stop shadow juries from forming. Shadow juries are groups that deliberate without you, then present a verdict as consensus. Your job is not to fight them. It's to make them irrelevant. You do that by refusing to respond to outcomes you didn't participate in. If you didn't consent to the process, you don't owe energy to the result. Now notice the internal shift as you practice this. Your speech slows. Your sentences shorten. You stop narrating yourself. That's not confidence. That's sovereignty. People will start adjusting before they bring others in. You'll hear it in language shifts. "I want to talk to you directly. Let me check with you first. What do you think before I loop anyone else?" That's your access ledger repairing in real time. And now, only now, you're ready for the protocols that follow. This is the 7-day sovereignty protocol. Purpose: rewire response patterns and retrain your environment. Day 1. Detection. Log every instance of third-party introduction. Work, relationships, texts. Measure. Count only. Day 2. Naming. Use the neutral naming line twice. You're bringing someone else into this. Measure. Attempts. Day 3. Metric enforcement. Require a metric once in conversation. Measure. Metric stated. Day 4. Containment. Limit third-party input to 1 point. Measure. Compliance. Day 5. Closure. End 3 interactions with a binary next step. Measure. Closures achieved. Day 6. Access ledger audit. Write 1 page. Who extracts? Who respects boundaries? Measure. Clarity, not emotion. Day 7. Pressure test. Intentionally hold the frame in a tense interaction. Measure. Did you explain or did you structure? This protocol changes you first. Your environment follows. Now the final original framework, the 8-minute payoff. This is the one you deploy publicly when the room is watching. If this feels cold, good. Cold systems don't get hijacked. This is the Citadel recovery protocol. Purpose: convert third-party pressure into a decisive outcome without escalation. It operates in 6 steps in a non-negotiable order. Detect. Notice the third-person insertion and your bodily urge to react. Anchor. 3 breaths, feet grounded, eyes level. Name. You're introducing an external reference. Metric. We decide this by X. Contain. 1 statement per person, no relays. Decide. Here's the next action. We test or we close. If you argue content before stating the metric, you've already lost jurisdiction. Exact deployment phrases. This is our decision. State the metric. 1 point each, then we decide. 48 hours. Test, review.
You think authority requires agreement. It doesn't. It requires follow-through. Now, connect this back to philosophy. Briefly, cleanly. Marcus Aurelius ruled by refusing to let noise govern his responses. He did not eliminate emotion. He subordinated it to order. That's the model. Not dominance, not detachment, governance. Now, the final measurable experiment. Mandatory. A 3-day experiment. Day A. Every time a third person is introduced, use this exact line once. This is between us. What's the metric? Log outcomes. Day B. Use the Citadel recovery protocol in one public interaction. Log whether the decision moved forward. Day C.
Run a 48-hour test using the negotiable frame reset with someone close. Log compliance or resistance. Report only numbers in the comments. Third-person attempts. Protocol deployments. Change in access or leverage. No stories. Data only. This is how we map patterns. Before we close, one final trade-off needs to be said plainly. If you avoid this work, your life fills with intermediaries. People speak about you instead of to you. Decisions get made without your presence. Not loudly, quietly. We turn philosophy into self-mastery only when thought becomes structure under pressure. Now watch what happens when you stop paying the approval tax. Leave the numbers. If this video resonated, don't treat it like content. Treat it like calibration. Subscribe for work like this. Not motivation, not therapy, but structural control when pressure enters the room. And if a specific interaction came to mind, share it with the person who keeps bringing someone else in. Because most people aren't failing. They're losing jurisdiction inside systems they didn't design.